Good evening, everyone. Yes, hi, good evening. So nice to see all of you here. Yes, Vedanshi. Hi, Ankita. Hi, Mandeep. Good evening. All right. Okay, so how many of you are here for the first time? Yes, Vedanshi, I'm good. I'm good. I hope all of you are good as well. Hi, Jerry. Hi, Deepak. All right. Nice to have all of you here. It's always more interesting to see lots of new faces. Fantastic. All right. First time. Okay. That's great, Ankita. All right. Yes, hi. All right, guys. So today we are going to be looking at mistakes in the speaking section, right? Okay. So we are going to be talking about a different topic today, right? So we always talk about things that we're supposed to do in the speaking test. So today we'll talk a little bit also about things that you shouldn't do in the speaking test and certain things that can definitely reduce your score. So on one side, we are working on things that can improve our score, and simultaneously, we should also work on things that will prevent us from losing marks unnecessarily. So that is what we are going to focus on today. I will also mention the things that we should do, which we talked about in yesterday's class as well. Anyone here who attended yesterday's session? Okay. All right. So I can see that some of you attended yesterday's session as well. All right, great. Great to have you back. So today we'll be focusing on certain things that you shouldn't do in your speaking section. Just give me a moment. I will share my screen and we can get started. All right. Okay. So these are certain blunders, and we will talk about all the different evaluation parameters and where we lose marks and what really causes those kinds of issues. So we do know that fluency is very important in speaking. So we will be talking about that as well. All right. So since many of you here are new, let me introduce myself before we get started. I'm Swati Ravi. I'm an IELTS expert trainer here at LeapScholar. Yes, Arpana, good evening. I have more than 8 years of experience. I've taught more than 3,000 students, and I have more than 5,000 hours of teaching experience. I am a British Council certified IELTS trainer and a TESOL Canada board certified language trainer. So whatever questions you have, I can guarantee you that I can give you a answer and I can clear your doubts, whatever they are regarding the IELTS test. Yes, good evening, Gautam. All right, so let's get started with all the basic blunders that students mostly make, and we'll be talking about individual errors, including pronunciation, grammar, coherence, cohesion. So all your evaluation parameters, we will be talking about what kind of mistakes we need to avoid for each of these things. So first, we will focus on content-related errors. So whenever they ask you a question, yes, what types of errors we end up making related to the content. We are going to be talking about each section individually. First, we will start with content-related errors, and I'm going to give you examples for all of these. Yes, yes, don't worry. I'll definitely give you examples for everything. All right. So first things first, when they ask you a question in your speaking section, let me write a sample question here. Let's say they are asking, Vedanshi, you don't need to take a screenshot. You can, but you don't need to, because all of these sessions will be available on our YouTube channel. The recordings will be up within an hour or two, so you can come back and watch them as often as you want. Right. So let's say they are asking us a question. What do you like to do with your friends? Suppose this is the question. A lot of times, students prepare something related to friends already. And because they have already prepared content related to friends, they try to rephrase the question to match the content that they have prepared. So what will happen? So I will rephrase this question as, I have many friends. If I say, yes, I have many friends. What what happened now? Am I answering the question? I am answering the question as though the question was, do you have many friends? Right? And unfortunately, we see many students doing this, especially when they have already prepared. So rephrasing the question is completely incorrect. Please do not rephrase the question or answer in a way that it is a different question, right? So if I said, yes, I have many friends that I like to spend time with. Even now, the answer is as though the question was, do you have many friends, right? So please be extra careful about rephrasing the question. When you are answering, you have to start directly with the answer. Now, a lot of times, even if students don't rephrase the question, they end up repeating the question. For example, yes, I like to do things with my friends. Yes. Now, how have I started the answer? What do you like to do with your friends is the question. But I'm replying by saying, yes, I like to do things with my friends. Now, this is like as though the question is what? Do you like to do things with your friends? Right? So this is another issue that I see very often. Now, as I mentioned before, I have taught more than 3,000 students and I have practiced speaking tests. I have evaluated speaking tests for so many students. And I'm telling you based on that, how often this happens. Now, there are two reasons for this. One, it can be that the student did not listen to the question properly, right? Or they have misunderstood the question entirely, right? So these are the two main reasons why students answer like this. Either they rephrase it or they answer without understanding what exactly they are asking, right? And both of these things will reduce your score a lot. Yes? Okay. So how can we avoid this? What do you think? How can I avoid misunderstanding the question? How can I avoid, right, answering to something that is not exactly the question? How should we avoid this? What we need to do is identify the question word. This is very important. Yes. So please identify whether the question is why, what, who, how. So the WH questions, right? So we have to pay attention to the WH questions, WH words. So whenever they ask you a question, listen closely to see what the WH word is. Is it when? Is it where? Is it what? Is it why? Is it who? Is it how? And reply to that directly. What do you like to do with your friends? Now I should start my answer. Okay, give me your answers for this question. How should I directly answer this question? The question word here is, what do you like to do with your friends? So what can I say? Yes. Going out? Yes. Going for a ride? Yes. What else? What else can I say? Okay. Watch movies. Okay. Hanging out with them. Play football. Play cricket. Watch movies. Have conversations. Board games. Okay. Great. Trek. Chill. Netflix. Fantastic. So please make sure that when you are answering, start with the direct answer. After that, you can elaborate. Don't try to extend your answer by giving a vague starting sentence. This is one of the biggest mistakes that we see. Yes? Right. So a lot of times, students will start with a vague opening sentence. Then they will give the answer. That is not a good idea in the speaking test. What you should do is give a direct answer and then elaborate. For example, I will say, I love going out with friends or traveling with my friends. Particularly bike rides at night. Now I can give additional information by saying, I also like to watch movies with them or eat out. Yes. So when you're giving an answer, please, first of all, identify the W word, right? Is it when, what, why, where, who, how? Identify the W word and give a direct answer to that. After that, you can elaborate on your answer. So in order to prevent misunderstanding the question, one thing that is very, very important, and many students are scared to do it. Many students are afraid to do this. Please do not hesitate to ask for clarification. Okay, now let me ask you, if the examiner asked me a question and I did not hear the W word, I don't know what W or H word they asked in the question. What should I do? Should I assume it? Should I guess it and answer? If I don't know which W word they used, what should I do? Is it okay for me to ask them again? What do you think? Absolutely. It is 100% okay for you to ask them to repeat the question. But another thing is never, never, ever answer with, I don't know. This is a big blunder in terms of content. They are asking you questions that you should know how to answer. Yes? So please never respond by saying, I don't know. Instead, you can say, if you did not understand the question, you can ask them to repeat the question. I'm sorry, could you please repeat the question? This is fine. Or you can say, did you mean? Suppose you only understood part of the question. And then you can say, did you mean what I like to do with my friends? Yes. So please make sure that you are asking for clarification in case you did not understand or did not hear what they asked you. Okay. Few questions. Okay. All right. Okay. So another issue that happens is deviating from the question. And this unfortunately happens without even realizing it, right? So for example, let's say, what are your hobbies? This recently happened. One of the students replied, my hobby is cooking, right? And then she said, I love, I think she said continental food or something like that. So she said, my hobby is cooking. I really love continental food, especially spaghetti. I can't remember what else she said. So a few other things. Now, I really love continental food, especially spaghetti. This is fine. Until this point, it's okay. Now this person has continued to say, I also like, and other foods. Now what happened? Yes. Is this answer appropriate? Is this answer correct? They have answered directly. My hobby is cooking, right? But what happened to the elaboration? Elaboration is about food, not about topic. Exactly. Even though it is slightly related, now they have started talking about food that they like, right? It's okay to mention that as an example, but you should not be spending too much time elaborating on something that is not related to your question directly. Yes. So instead of this, if they said, I really love cooking and eating continental food, this is okay, right? This makes the answer relevant. So please be careful about making sure that your elaboration sentences are not deviating from the main point. I'll give you one more example. What are your hobbies? Let's say, I think one of you said, I love playing tennis. Yes. And then I continue by saying, I always go with my friends to play and we have a really good time. This is okay, because even though you're saying you go with your friends, you are still talking about playing tennis, right? So this is okay. But if you elaborate on who you go with, when you go, those kinds of things will deviate from the topic. Yes. Yes, Nehar, absolutely. For that, you can say my hobby is to try different kinds of foods. Then you can talk about all sorts of foods. Then it's totally okay. Yes. All right. So this is something that you should be very careful about. And actually, this is the most common blunder. Most students, they don't ask the examiner to repeat. They feel uncomfortable doing that. So they give an indirect answer, or they give an answer that is answering directly, but the elaboration is deviating from the point. So these are the most common errors in terms of content. Yes. So please be extra careful about this. Make sure that you identify the WH word in the question. Check if it is when, where, why, what, who. Then you can elaborate on that. Pooja is asking, can I say I love cooking and dancing, and now cooking is turning out to be my passion? Yes, Pooja, absolutely. You can say that. You can feel free to include more than one hobby and even talk about which one you like the most. That's totally fine. That's a good answer. All right. Okay. Shall we look at errors related to grammar next? Yes. I know everyone is afraid of grammatical errors. We all worry about how many errors am I making, right? Okay, so that is what we are going to look at next. So right now we have looked at content-related blunders. So please never say, I don't know. Yes, please do not say, don't assume the WH question. If you're not sure, please ask them for clarification. Some questions here in the chat. Okay. All right. Okay, so here is an interesting question. How do I respond to this question? How are you doing? I can say, I'm great. I'm fine. Just that is enough. Okay, another thing. In this part 1, you remember before they start asking the question, they ask you some, where are you from? What's your name? These kinds of questions, right? That is not included. You don't have to elaborate on that. Yes. You don't have to elaborate on that. Just give a direct answer. I'm from here. You can call me Swati. Just give your name, or you can say what they can call you. Don't need to elaborate on that. Okay. Getting off track. Right. So whenever you write any kind of ideas, whenever you write keywords for part 2, please make sure that every single keyword that you write in your notes should be directly related to the WH questions in the prompts. That is what you can do to prevent going off topic. Yes, Ajay, you can, but it's not necessary. You can say, I'm great, how are you? You can say that, it's not necessary. You can even say, I'm great, thank you for asking. That's better. Yes. All right. No, you cannot take your watch into the speaking test. There is a timer, but only the examiner can see it, and you cannot see it. They will interrupt you once you have run out of time. All right. All right, guys, don't worry so much about asking the examiner how they are. You don't need to do that at all. It's not expected. You don't need to. If they ask you, how are you? Say, I'm fine, thank you. Move on. That's it. All right. Okay, guys, next we'll talk about grammar-related errors, the types of blunders that students make in the grammar section. Here, I am going to talk about some things that are very, very common as in we see students making this type of error very often. And I keep on telling students not to do this. All right. Now, you itself tell me, how many times have you heard someone saying, use uncommon words while you are speaking? And because of that, did you take a dictionary and look for uncommon words? How many of you have done this? Yes? Okay, right. Wow, chat box is flooded. Okay, so it looks like so many of you have done this. Right. Let's take, for example, always Googling it. Yes, true. Right. How many of you have done that? Googled for synonyms. Right. Okay. Let's do an example. Take the word bored. Yes. Now, if you look for the synonyms here, what kind of words will we see? Disinterested. Okay. Any other words? Synonyms? Okay. Mundane. Okay. Yes. What are the words? Monotonous. Okay. Not interesting. Yes. Tedious. Fantastic. Humdrum. Great. Okay. Great. Ennui. Fantastic. All right. Okay. Now let's take this word for instance. Now, my answer is I get bored, or I get bored when I do the same thing every day. For example, okay. Now, I have told the student, try to use uncommon words. Now, the student has gone and looked it up, found the word and substituted it. I get monotonous. Is this correct? What happens to the sentence now? It's incorrect. Okay. All right. What about mundane? Tedious. What about now? Right. Why is it incorrect? I get tedious? No. The activity gets tedious. Yes, the activity gets tedious. Right. Now, why is this error happening? Because bored is a descriptive word. Right. Bored is an adjective. So I am bored. I'm using it as a noun, not as an adjective. And a lot of times students do not see the difference. They don't realize that they've actually used it as a noun here rather than an adjective. But do we know all of these things? Do we know how to identify adjective, noun? Do we know how to identify it? Can we do this during the exam? Do we have the time to think about all this? No. Okay. So what should we do? Do not use just substitutes. Whenever you learn a new word, please learn it with examples. You should never learn a word like this. You should never substitute words directly. 100%, or I can say 95%, it will be incorrect. Yes. So if you look at the sample sentences for these words, you will learn how to use it in a sentence. This is more important than learning the word, because what will happen if I say I get bored? Am I going to lose marks for this? No, I'm not going to lose marks for this. But if I try to substitute it with a better word and I use it incorrectly, I will lose marks for this. So you will lose even more marks than if you didn't use that word at all. So this is one of the biggest blunders in terms of vocabulary. Students try to substitute words directly. Please don't do this. Yes? No, Pooja, that is incorrect. Tedious would refer to the activity, not the person. Yes? It gets tedious. The activity gets tedious. No, Priyanshi. it is not advisable to use simple English. You must use complex sentences. Even for a 6 band, you have to use complex sentences. Yes, Ashima, disinterested can be used. I get disinterested. This is correct, right? So identifying which words can be used as a substitute, or if you're learning a new word, please learn the correct usage, right? So I can say ennui sets in when I do the same things every day. Yes. So learning a new word is a good thing, obviously, but please do not Google it and substitute. It was tedious while tedious working during the day. Yes, that is fine. After a tedious hour of advertisements, the movie finally came on. Yes, Preeti, fantastic. That is correct. Right. Yes, Sujit. During the day would be better, not while day, while the day, during the day. If you're saying whole day, you should say the whole day. Right. Okay. So please make sure that you are not making this simple mistake. When you're learning some new word, please look at the samples. Don't substitute it directly. Right. Next thing that we should talk about is introducing unrelated ideas in order to use specific words. Now, this also happens. I have had some students who have a list of words. This is good. It's good for you to have a list of words, right? It's totally good, useful to have a list of words, vocabulary, very good. But let's say that you have the word presumptuous in your vocabulary list, or you have the word, let's say bourgeois. Okay. You have these words in your vocabulary list. You've learned what it means. You know how to use it. No, Khaja, that's not correct. Doing work repeatedly is monotonous. You don't feel monotonous. You can't say I feel monotonous. You will say it is monotonous. Right. Okay. So let's say you have you have some very nice words in your vocabulary list and you have used it or you have learned it. You have looked at the examples. You know how to use it. You know the meaning and all that. Now, the question is asking, do you live in a house or an apartment? Right? So this is the question. But just because I know the word bourgeois, I want to use it. So I will say, I live in an apartment. And this is because I consider myself bourgeois. Right? So what happens? What am I doing? Right? I am trying to bring the question, trying very hard to bring the answer to the direction that I want so that I can use a word that I have in my vocabulary list. What will happen? Will I get a good score because of that? Yes, Nidhi, trying too hard. Yes. But what will happen? Will this improve my score? No, it will not improve my score because your lexical resource score, your vocabulary score is dependent on natural usage. Yes. So please be careful about using words that you are not, if it doesn't fit into the context of your question or your answer, please do not try to fit it in. Okay. I have heard many students trying to push the words they know into answers. Do not do that. You are expected to naturally use vocabulary. So words that are naturally fitting into your answer. Yes. Yes, you can use complex words. And someone asked me, is it okay for me to use bourgeois? It's a French word. It is a French word that has been added to the English dictionary. It can be used, but you don't need to unless you're actually talking about something related to it. Right. So I was just giving an example of how students try to fit in words that they have heard or they've learned properly, right? Okay, so next thing is using, next we are going to talk about something that are related to grammar. Now, I see this very often, especially when I'm looking at asking questions, yes or no questions. I often see students using multiple contrast signs. Do we know what are contrast signs? Contrast signs are words like but, although, unless, however. Yes, these are contrast signs. So a contrast sign is always yes, yet. These words are always used when you have two parts of the sentence and one is positive and the other is negative. You cannot use it if both are positive or both are negative. Yes, you will only use contrast signs when the two parts are contrasting in nature. Okay, I'm having some questions here. I'm surprised to see this, but I'm happy to see this. Do I have a premium batch? You want to join it? Yes, I do have a premium batch coming up, and I'm going to tell you about it in a minute. Okay, so a contrast sign is used when two things are contrasting in meaning. So I can say, I did not sleep well, but I feel refreshed. Yes. So do you see this previous sentence and the next one are contrasting in meaning, right? They're not similar. And now what happens is I see students using two contrast signs in the same sentence. Although I did not sleep well, but I feel refreshed. Is this correct? What do you think? Is this correct grammatically? No. What's wrong? Okay, so I'm getting mixed reactions. Some are saying it's correct. Some are saying it's not correct. It is not correct. You cannot have more than one contrast sign in the same sentence. You can remove any one. So if I say, although I did not sleep well, I feel refreshed. Or I can remove although and I can say, I did not sleep well, yet I feel refreshed. Yes. So this is actually very common. We see students doing this all the time. Do not use more than one contrast sign in the same sentence. Yes, are we clear on this? Okay. Next is the use of too many connectors. Now, this is an error that we see in speaking as well as writing. I know that all of you are very familiar with the contrast signs, with the linking words. However, yes, additionally, similarly, further, yes, so many answers in the chat. In spite of, okay. Yes, right. In other words, moreover, furthermore, in addition, absolutely. Now, what happens is, because you are so familiar with these words, students sometimes use this as fillers. They use it to gain more time to think. Yes, so please don't do this. It is it is going to affect your score. It is going to lower your cohesive device score, your cohesion score. It is going to lower that. You remember, fluency and cohesion is one of the evaluating parameters in speaking. And this is definitely going to affect your fluency score if you overuse them. So what should we do? In each question, use only one, right? In part one question, I have to give 2 to 3 sentences. Yes, I can use one linking word. In part 3, I have to speak for 4 to 5 sentences. Here I can use again one linking word. Maximum I can use 2. Maximum. Okay. So please be careful about overuse of linking words. It is definitely going to reduce your fluency and cohesion score. All right. Next is not using complex sentences. Vipin, could you rephrase your question, please? I don't understand. Okay. What about the cue card? So in the cue card section, you are going to be describing something. Part 2 is a descriptive answer, and you will be speaking for 2 minutes. So you can use maybe 4 or 5 linking words. Use it when you absolutely need to, right? Don't use it just because you know it. That's the rule, right? Same with vocabulary, same with grammar. Don't use something just because you know it. Don't try to squeeze it in just because you know it. Only use it when it is necessary. That is what we call natural usage. Yes? All right. Another issue is not using complex sentences. This I talked about in detail in yesterday's class. Those of you who were there yesterday, I'm sure you know. But those of you who missed it, you can go back and watch yesterday's recording, which focused on the use of complex sentences. You have to use complex sentences if you want a 6 band or anything above a 6 band. You cannot get it without the use of complex sentences. If you look at the band descriptors posted by IDP, you will see that complex sentences are mandatory. You must use complex sentences. Yes. So another thing is the use of reference words. Words like this, that, these, those, which, it, right? Many students do not understand the importance of these words. It is very, very important to increase your cohesive score. It improves your coherent score as well. It also improves your grammatical range, and it also affects fluency. So this use of reference words improves your score in 4 different things. Please make sure that you start using it. Guys, you can just go to the IELTS Prep by LeapScholar channel on YouTube and see all the masterclass recordings. You can go there and find it. Right. Okay. So these are things that you should be doing about the grammar and vocabulary. Next, we will be talking about the pronunciation aspect of it. And before we do that, let me tell you about my upcoming premium batch. I know that some of you asked me about it. I'm very happy to see that. So I'll tell you about the premium batch that is upcoming. I have a premium batch starting day after tomorrow. That is on the 18th. Sorry, tomorrow. I have a batch starting tomorrow, a 9 p.m. batch. So 9 p.m., very convenient. All of you can finish your school or your studies or your work if you're working, finish everything, have your dinner, and then come and sit at 9 p.m. To 10:30, and we can study how exactly to improve our speaking and listening. So I have a premium batch. This is 1 week long. I will be focusing entirely on speaking techniques. Yes? All right. So I will be talking about how to include more details in your answer, how to make your answer more elaborate, how to grammatically correctly frame your answers, what kind of sentence starters you can use. All of these things I will be discussing in detail during this premium batch. I will be sharing the link for this batch. Right, Niharika, I do have another batch immediately after this as well. And of course, we have premium batches for other modules by other educators as well. I will now share the link for that. You can use this link to join any of the premium batches, not just mine. You can join any of the premium batches using this. Yes, I'm sharing the link. Just a moment. Yes, guys, just give me a moment. I am sharing the link for that. Just a moment. Right. Speaking club slots specifically, no. No, speaking club slots are with certified evaluators. I do not have a personal YouTube channel, guys. No. Right. Okay, so I'm sharing the link in the chat box. You can join my premium batch, which is starting tomorrow, for a discount using this code. And guys, it is only 438 rupees. It is not expensive at all. It is just 238 rupees, including the discount. So you don't even have to think about it too much. I have shared it in the chat box. You can click on this link and sign up for my premium course, which is starting tomorrow. And another benefit about being in the premium batch is you can interact with me and ask me your doubts personally. Whatever questions you have, you will be able to reach out to me and speak to me personally, clear all your doubts. Many students I know have asked me so many questions in the chat, but I don't have the time to answer all of them during these sessions, but I will definitely be able to give you. Speaking, no, we don't have one-on-one, but our premium batches are very small in size. Yes, Mansi, those are free sessions available on our YouTube channel. Of course, you can check those out as well. And Preet, you can use it later as well. You will be able to use the speaking club slots for another week after the session has ended as well. You will get 5 mock tests, speaking evaluations, writing evaluations, and the best part is you have lifetime access to the recordings of the classes. Premium batch will have very small batch sizes, maximum 20-25. No more than that, so that I will be able to give individual attention to every single student. Yes? Okay, I have shared the link again. You can join any premium batch using this link for just rupees 438. It is less than 1 day's. If you go and eat out, it will cost more than this, right? Right. Okay. So I'll give you a minute. I'll wait. For those of you who would like to join the batch, please click on the link and join the batch. I'm going to wait for a few more minutes. Once you have joined the batch, please come back and leave a thumbs up. Mock tests you will be able to write and submit on the portal itself. They will give you writing evaluations. They'll give you detailed feedback. This particular module is a 1-week course for speaking and okay. Vedanshi, have you joined? Great. All right. Okay, so I'm seeing many of you have joined. Okay. Guys, please click on the link. Once you have joined the batch, you've already joined writing. Okay. Okay. One more thumbs up. Great. Yes, this batch will focus entirely on speaking and listening, and I can guarantee you will see quite a bit of improvement in your speaking after this course. I will be teaching you all the little tips and tricks that I used when I went for my IELTS exam. Okay, one more thumbs up. Great. Okay, so I think seats are filling up rather quickly. That's fine, Preet. You can save the link and you can join using this link. Yes. You don't have to add any code. It will automatically be added. Just click on this link. Automatically, the price will be 438. This is with the discount. My IELTS exam experience was really fun, actually. I had fun during my IELTS exam. I just went and spoke to the examiner as though I was speaking to a friend. What do you think my score was? All our educators are at, no, it was a 9. It was a 9, yes. Right. Okay. Right. I have shared the link. You want to know how I scored a 9 band? I'll definitely tell you. Yes. Right. Okay, guys. All right. So those of you who are joining, once you've joined, please come and leave a thumbs up in the chat. Tips. We're actually almost out of time. But yes, in my premium batch, I do talk about it extensively. Okay. One more thumbs up. Great. 2 more thumbs up. Okay. Which was the toughest module in IELTS? It was definitely the writing. Very difficult to score. Okay. All right. So most students have joined. I think the batch must be almost full. Yes, I took the computer-based test. All right, guys, I'm sharing the link again. I'm seeing quite a few thumbs up, so I think the batch must be almost full by now. Those of you who would like to join, please click on this link and make sure that you do before the batch fills up. It should be filling up today, since today's the last day. Tomorrow we have, my batch is starting tomorrow. So today is the last day for enrolling. Tips to improve in writing. It's a long discussion that will have to wait for another day. Using only present tense in speaking is not a good idea. You need to use a variety of tenses. You need to use past tense, present tense. Perfect tenses is very good for speaking. Okay, more thumbs up. Has it filled up? Let me check. It might be full. Do we need to dress formally? No. Don't need to dress formally, but please dress neatly. Do not dress too casually. Yes. Don't wear a tie. You'll already be nervous. You'll already be sweating because of that. If you're wearing a tie and a blazer, you're going to be even more panicked. Not a good idea. Yes. Yes. All right. Okay. Few more minutes before I end the session. Next batch tentatively will be immediately after this one. I think 27th, probably. I have other batches starting soon as well. Yes, so immediately after this batch, we'll be looking at the remaining other sections. What is the secret of speaking so fluently? Practice. The secret is that I take the time and the trouble to learn, the practice and the constant seeking for improvement. I'm never satisfied with my level of speaking, so I'm constantly trying to improve, even now. Right. Yes, okay. So some of you are asking about the other batches. I'll tell you about the other batches. This is the batch that I have currently, 9 to 10:30 p.m. It's a very convenient time. You can join for just 4:38. And the other batches that are coming soon are these batches. So you can join any of these batches depending on which one is convenient for you. Nidhi, is it full? Tanbir, you don't need to really copy anyone's accent. But if you are doing that in order to correct your pronunciation errors, it is okay. There's nothing wrong with it. They are not going to reduce your marks if you're trying to imitate an accent. Okay. Some of you are saying that the batch is full. I'm not sure about that, but it is possible since today is the last day. Okay, a few more people have joined. Yes. About pronunciation, I would say one big tip, very important tip, is please don't stress on the second half of the word. Yes, vegetable. Please don't stress on the second half. No Vivo 1804. No, not the IELTS Plus course. This is the IELTS Premium course. IELTS Plus course is free. And you will not get individual attention there. Yes. Right. Guys, just remember this as a general rule for pronunciation. Second half of the word is not stressed. Not vegetable. Not technology. It's vegetable, technology. Second half will always be short, compressed vowel sounds. Right. Rajput, what do you need help with? Are you having trouble booking the session? Anyone else having trouble booking the batch or joining the batch, please let me know. Those of you who want to join, have you been able to join comfortably? Yes? Okay. Rajput, you're saying yes, but I don't know what your question is. Angela, are you having trouble joining the batch? I'm going to click on the batch and see if I can join my own batch. Let me see, is it available right now? Okay. So it looks like the batch has filled up. So Raj, you will get individual attention because the batch sizes are very small, and I will also interact with you personally on Telegram. So whatever questions you have, you can always reach out to me on Telegram individually. I will be able to provide you with whatever clarifications you require. Yes. Rajput, I don't understand your question. How many days before the passport exam? I don't understand the question. I'm so sorry. All right. Okay, guys. So those of you who are not able to join the batch right now, I will be adding a few more seats. You can join my batch within the next 1 hour. Few more seats will be added. This is what we normally do once the batch fills up. Few more seats will be added within the next 1 hour. So those of you who are not able to join right now, you can join within the next 1 hour. So you can come back, use the same link. Please save this link. Within the next 1 hour, few more seats will be added. You can join once it's been added. Yes? Okay, so those of you who have joined, I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow in my premium batch, and we'll talk lot more about the speaking module, things that I did, things that you can do, certain things that are bound to improve your pronunciation, your speaking, your vocabulary, everything. Kavita is asking, could you please repeat the pronunciation of vegetables and technology? So it is not vegetable, it's vegetable. In any word, you separate it into syllables and each syllable will have a vowel. Okay, I think this is too technical, but I'll tell you anyway. Each word will be split up into syllables. Each syllable will have a vowel and only one of the vowel sounds can be stressed on. For example, veg. Here I am stressing on the E sound, veg. So I cannot stress on the A sound. Yes? So the A sound will become a short sound, not table, vegetable. Yes. Vishal, what do you need me to help you sort out? Angela, I don't know if you can, I don't think so, I'm not sure. If the batch is already filled up, we will be adding a few more seats within the next 1 hour. But since the batch is tomorrow, no, I don't think. What do you need? What is your query about joining? You can ask now. All right. Okay, guys, so that's it for today. We'll end the session here, and it was really nice to see all of you. And I hope that I will see all of you in my batch day after tomorrow. Those of you who have joined, I will see you there tomorrow. Yes. All right. Those of you who are having some difficulty with the payment, it will still be open for a few more hours. So just save this link and you can try again in 1 hour. Yes, those of you who are still trying to join, are unable to make the payment, you can try again. Yes, Shubham, don't worry, just try again in some time, it should be resolved. Don't worry, Angela, just try again in some time, the payment should go through. All right. Okay, guys, thank you so much. It was very nice interacting with all of you. I hope that you learned lots of things that you should not do in your speaking test. And I will see you all tomorrow in my batch, and we'll talk more about the speaking module. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening. Thank you.